Okay, hi, welcome back to All Things Equilateral. Today I'm discussing my top 10 books of 2017. It was a tough year. I didn't have a lot of 5-star books. Some of these are like 4.5 stars, some maybe 4 stars, but I felt like they bubbled up to the top 10, if that makes sense. So, without further ado, here we go. And in no particular order because, I'm too busy for that. Number 1, The Sun is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. What a great story, you guys. A story about two very different types of immigrants who meet, and the 24 hours in which the story takes place is significant for both. Gorgeously told by Nicola. I am such a fan of hers. I will read anything that she writes from now on. Oh, and if you guys like Just One Day by Gail Forman, it's kind of similarly told. My number 2 book is See How They Run by Ali Carter. This finishes up the Embassy Row trilogy, and I just love the story of Grace. It was a departure for Ali's not writing about spies and thieves or heists. She wrote about a girl who lives on Embassy Row and the diplomats that surround it and the secrets that they keep. I really love the story. Ali is one of my go-to writers, and honestly, nobody can write family the way Ali can. In the number 3 spot is Sophie Kinsella's My Not So Perfect Life. I keep wanting to say My So-Called Perfect Life. This book had it all. Sophie Kinsella is the queen of chick lit. She comes by the title, honestly, because her stories are so full of absolutely everything I love. There's usually kind of a madcap plot. There is a bit of a ditzy heroine, and, there's always family, which I love, and then a romance, which is always pitch perfect. And this story is no exception. If you guys love chick lit, if you love Bridget Jones's Diary, this is as good as that book and that movie. I hope they make it into a movie. It would be an awesome one. My number 4 book is Defy the Stars by Claudia Gray. Claudia Gray, I never read any of her earlier books. I think they were vampire-based books, but somehow she has hit the stride here with science fiction. What a genre for her. Defy the Stars played upon one of my favorite stereotypical characters, artificial intelligence. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is so good, and it's a romance. The number 5 book is a middle grade book that I read, The Girl Who Drank the Moon by Kelly Barnhill. This story had a bit of a folklore feel to it, and I just fell in love with the magic of it all. I can understand why it's so beloved by critics and by readers. Simon versus the Homo Sapien Agenda by Becky Albertalli. I've read it this year, so I put it in my top 2017 favorites. Simon, what a character, you guys. First of all, settle down with a big cup of your favorite beverage and a bunch of Oreos, because you're going to crave them by the end of that book. But the story is so well told about this boy who hasn't come out to his friends, and it's told in a series of just kind of almost a whodunit plot, right? It's a mystery because you don't know who this one person named Blue is. Simon goes on these online message boards and he meets friends that way, and he meets Blue, and you are so rooting for Simon and Blue to meet in real life that you start playing a guessing game of who Blue could potentially be. Such a great story, and you guys, it's going to be a movie. I think this year they've already wrapped filming, so read it before the movie comes out. My number 7 book is Lord of Shadows by Cassandra Clare, and I love watching how Cassie is wrapping up the latest 3-part series in the Shadowhunter Chronicles. The characters that we've met in the past are still there. My Jace and Magnus and all those guys, Clary, Isabel, Simon, Alec. But we've also met a whole bunch of new characters, and it's their stories that have so much weight. I've really fallen in love with every single character Cassie's ever written, except the bad guys. I do not like the bad guys. So for all of you who like, Jonathan and Valentine and all those people, not me. Okay, number 8 is When Dimple Met Rishi by Sandhya Menon. This book is so perfect. It speaks to me on like the ethnic vibe, because most of you know that I'm an immigrant and was raised by very old world parents. You can't get any more old world than this. And if you haven't read it, please do, because there's a clash of modern and old world, and just two characters that are so real. You know them from page 1. I absolutely loved Dimple and Rishi as well, though not maybe at first, because I was like, dude, you're so old fashioned, but I got it. By the end, I totally got it. My number 9 book is When It's Real by Erin Watt. I'm new to Erin Watt. I've not read her Princess series. I hear it's kind of new adult, and sometimes I stay away from those because honestly it's the same plot rehashed. The one new adult that I loved was a book called Easy, and I've forgotten the author. Please forgive me. I'll put it up right up here. It was an awesomely told story, but I read many stories after that one, and honestly they all kind of began to blur. I hear that this is different. It has to do with princes and princesses and kind of royalty. I don't even know what the world is about. I do have the first book and I plan to read it this year, but this standalone, When It's Real, is just adorable. It's one of those, fluffy, happy, adorable romance books that you want to make excuses for, but then let's be honest, why make excuses? It is what it is. It's not going to change the world, but it's fun to read it. The last book I read is actually an adult book. I know, look at me, a real adult. It's Blake Crouch's Dark Matter. I read this book and I hear a movie's coming out. I thought it was really cool. I love time travel, and Blake does it really well. It's sciencey, but not too sciencey. It has the idea of family and friends that we make stay with us no matter what, even like in different permutations. It has a crazy kind of corporate, government plot, which you grow to expect in these kind of books, but it's really well told and it's not that big and it just keeps moving. The pace is awesome. So those are my top 10 for 2017. Let me know what yours were down below. Link your video, your blog posts, or however you want to communicate with me, because I really appreciate comments. Plus it adds more to my TBR, because I know if you liked it, chances are I will too. Give me a thumbs up, won't you? And also click subscribe, as well as click on that bell button, because you never know when I post these things. I am so bad at this. That's one of my New Year's resolutions, is I'm going to become like the regular poster person. That doesn't even sound right, but you know what I'm saying. Thanks for watching. Good.